good wife Jan, I don't know where I put the parsnips.
It's winter. The ground is frozen. Don't you remember we took the parsnips in last month?
Oh, yes, and we put the gardens to bed.
Yes, but in spring we will wake up the Stanley Whitman Gardens again, and you can have your parsnips next year.
Oh, gosh, yes, thank you. I'm just so cold and weary.
I think you're tired. Come in.
That's a splendid idea. This is all just so exhausting.